Why is the rum going? Yeah, that's how we're starting this one off.
Okay. I
So,
wonder what we're talking about.
indeed, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the General Geekery Podcast, the podcast where we geek out about all that we love to geek out about, with no remorse, no regrets, and with all the enthusiasm in the world.
Indeed.
All that good stuff. As always, this is Donald Kaczynski, your coffee ninja by day, and your streamer, gamer, and actor by night. And with me, as always, is the artistic maestro of the brush strokes, and probably one of the funniest people that I know, Hannah Kubiak.
Hello.
Oh,
I endeavor to live up to the hype.
I always love your company. So, for today's topic, it's gonna be a bit of a interesting one. We're gonna be talking about pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Yar, matey. So, yeah, just the old tradition of pirates and how it's pretty much evolved into the modern era.
Mm.
And, well, honestly, also taking a look at some examples of pirates in both history and in fictional media. There are plenty good ones. Plenty good ones. So, Hannah, how familiar are you with just general knowledge about pirates in general?
I know of them. Mostly what I know is from movies.
Okay.
Mhm.
So,
educate me.
so, I did a little bit of research. Basically, from what I could gather from the information I could find, starting from Wikipedia and then just basing it out off of there into other sources,
Mm-hmm.
Pirates have existed ever since like around circa 14th, 13th century BC, roughly. So, in the times of the ancients, into the times of Greeks, way before like the times that we usually know it, around like the 1600s or so. Like,
Did you say BC?
yes,
Holy crap.
yeah, there are they have gone into ancient times. Like, it originated in the Mediterranean seas, like that area.
Mm.
The exploits of the sea peoples, they called them. So yeah, it was in the time of prior to or leading into the time of the ancient Greeks. So there was all that.
Okay.
And so the English word for pirate, as we know it, comes from the Latin term pirata.
Mm-hmm.
And of course from Greek as well. I actually can't read Greek, so pirates. Oh, okay, there's the pronunciation there. Got it. But there have been many different terms that have been used for pirates over the years. Corsairs, privateers, brigands, everything like that. There have been many multiple terms, but the universal term that we know them as today as are pirates. Basically, thieves of the sea. They pillage, they plunder, they do everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, first and foremost, like, even though they pillage and plunder and everything like that, like, they are still technically businessmen. They were still traders and everything like that.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean,
Did they have a code?
not that I could find. I'm pretty sure that there is like a code of honor, but
Mm.
hard to say how that translates into today.
Mm.
Which I'm pretty sure. Okay, hold on, wait. I did find the pirate code. All right, here it is.
Oh, okay.
Yep, there actually is a pirate code, as recorded by Captain Charles Johnson regarding the articles of Bartholomew Roberts.
Ah.
So, 11 points to the pirate code.
Ooh.
Nope. Number 1, every man shall have an equal vote in affairs of moment. He shall have an equal title to the fresh provisions or strong liquors at any time seized, and shall use them at pleasure, unless a scarcity may make it necessary for the common good that a retrenchment may be voted.
Ah.
So, obviously, there was, like, some form of law among the pirates. Which, hey, even outlaws gotta follow some kind of rule.
Yep.
Number 2, every man shall be called fairly in turn by the list on board of prizes, because over and above their proper share they are allowed a shift of clothes. But if they defraud the company to the value of even $1 in plate, jewels, or money, they shall be marooned. If any man rob another, he shall have his nose and ears slit and be put ashore, where he shall be sure to encounter hardships. Dang, dude.
Mm-mm.
We call them cutthroats.
Yep.
Number 3, none shall game for money either with dice or cards. Wow, I actually didn't even know that was part of the code.
Say they don't gamble? What?
I'm like, that pretty much goes against, like, the basis of, like, a lot of on-screen pirates that we've seen, because we've seen many different pirates do games. If that is true.
Yeah.
Number 4, the lights and candles shall be put out at 8 at night. If any of the crew desire to drink after that hour, they shall sit upon the open deck without lights. Intriguing. Number 5, each man shall keep his piece, cutlass, and pistols at all times clean and ready for action. Well, I mean, of course, like... That's obvious.
Yeah.
You gotta be ready for anything. 6, no boy or woman to be allowed amongst them. If any man shall be found seducing any of the latter sex and carrying her to sea in disguise, he shall suffer death. So, obviously, a code of the times.
Yep.
Definite code of the times. Number 7, he that shall desert the ship or his quarters in time of battle shall be punished by death or marooning. No
room for cowards here.
There shall be no room for traitors aboard this ship. There shall be no mutinies today. Number 8, none shall strike another on board the ship, but every man's quarrel shall be ended on shore by sword or pistol on this manner. At the word
like duels.
It's time for a duel. At the word of command from the quartermaster, each man being previously placed back to back shall turn and fire immediately. If any man do not, the quartermaster shall knock the piece out of his hand. If both miss their aim, they shall take to their cutlasses, and he that draw the first blood shall be declared the victor.
Ah.
Well, dang. Number 9, no man shall talk of breaking up their way of living till each has a share of 1,000. 1,000? 1,000 what?
Who knows, man?
The plunder.
1,000 buttons.
Dang. Every man who shall become a cripple or lose a limb in the service shall have 800 pieces of 8 from the common stock, and for lesser hurts proportionately. So they actually had to find a way to divvy up for those that were crippled. Dang.
Yep.
Interesting. Number 10. The captain and the quartermaster shall each receive 2 shares of a prize. The master gunner and boatswain 1 1/2 shares. All other officers are 1 1/4, and private gentlemen of fortune 1 share each. And then number 11. The musician shall have rest on the Sabbath day only by right. On all other days by favor only. So
the musician? What?
you gotta have some form of entertainment on board a ship.
Oh, okay.
I guess. I didn't even know that there was a rule in place for musicians.
There's a rule in the code about musicians.
I found that on Wikipedia, so who knows that that's actually legit. But if someone can confirm that, I will. Maybe I'll try to figure it out if that is actually the code later, and I'll probably put an edit in post to see if it actually is real. Editor's note. The code that was previously mentioned was a code that was put in place by Captain Bartholomew Roberts. Roberts was one of the most famous pirates during the golden age of piracy. During his career, he captured a total of 470 different ships. Oddly enough, pertaining to the part of the code that specifically talked about musicians, when Roberts and his crew were finally captured and executed, the only members of the crew to survive were the musicians that were in the employ of Roberts at the time. Since technically they were not actually pirates, they were free to go. In addition, many claim that the capture and execution of Bartholomew Roberts marks the end of the golden age of piracy as we know it. Thank you so much for listening, and please enjoy the rest of the episode.
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, like we always talk. They always talk about the Pirates Code, and I'm like, oh yeah, so they do have a code. Nice. But But yeah. Like I said in there, like, I don't know how much of that holds true to today, because piracy on the sea still exists today.
Mm-hmm.
Because there have been numerous records of it, it's not like the kind you see in movies with, like, the wooden yo-ho and everything like that, or just, like, war aboard ships and everything like that. They use, like, small motorized boats in order to, like, with a small crew, and then go on board with, like, fully armed, guns like automatics, rifles, and everything like that in order to plunder and take it back to their main ship.
Mm-hmm.
Which is how piracy is usually done nowadays. And there have actually been examples of that in some form of media. I could have sworn there was like a movie about that a couple of years ago about someone's experience dealing with that. I just can't remember.
Oh, yeah. I keep talking. I'll look it up. I remember it.
Yeah, I was trying to remember, and I was trying to figure out. I think it was Dan Aykroyd who was in that, but I could be wrong. No, it couldn't have been Dan Aykroyd. But yeah,
Captain Phillips.
That's what it was.
Tom Hanks. Mm-hmm.
Tom Hanks. Thank you. Okay, that's what it was. Thank you, Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there was that was a lot. That was a lot. Yeah, we are honestly, when it comes to like a lot of different things with pirates, like if there's a giant cornerstone of things that people have a fascination about when it comes to certain things, like when you start as a young kid, growing up, for some reason, we all have a fascination with pirates. Is like one of those things that as kids we have a fascination about.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't know what it is. It's just something about a pirate, like, that's alluring. I think it's just because, like, they apparently have no rules and everything like that. And then when you grow up and find out that they actually had rules, and you're like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you find out that the musicians get Sunday off, then the allure is completely lost. I think that it's sort of the perception that sailing on the open sea, you're free, the call of freedom is kind of what is attractive to us.
Yeah,
and also the plundering.
Yes, all the plunder, all the loot that we can get.
Eat a whole bushel of apples. And, of course, the terrible curses that can fall upon you from stealing, like, cursed treasure and everything.
All right, so
there's always that fun.
All right, so since we're on that point, we might as well just talk about pirates from fictional media, because we have a lot of them. There is so much. I mean, and because obviously we're talking about it, let's talk about Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's dive into this. Probably one of the biggest mainstream things that have happened with pirates.
Yep.
Bless you, Jeffrey Rush. Bless you, Johnny Depp, and every one of you guys at Disney for creating this movie series. Whether some like it or hate it, I enjoy the hell out of it.
It's good for a laugh, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. You are absolutely, without a doubt, the worst pirate I have ever met. But you have heard of me, haven't you? I can pretty much quote Pirates of the Caribbean for days.
Oh, yep. Do you remember those little like music mashups that they would do where they would put like lines from the movie that play over and over again all together? Like when he puts the axe in the table, he's like, "That's not good enough."
Yep.
Then it goes
Yep.
again.
I think one of my favorite ones was in the second movie when Jack kept saying, "I got a jar of dirt."
Right.
I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt.
I got a jar of dirt. Yeah.
That's probably the most famous one for me. But
Yep.
but yeah, like as much as we I don't like as much as we admire those movies and everything like that, like with all the supernatural stuff in it, that honestly never really happened in real life piracy, but for some reason we always link supernatural stuff with pirates too for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we really do actually. Or at least like occultism and stuff.
Well, I mean, occultism is one thing because I mean, obvious there has to have been like some number of pirates that have been into like that have followed traditions of like something of the occult, or maybe at least in voodoo. Who knows?
Yeah, voodoo. Probably a lot of dentists that follow the occult as well.
I'm just speculating.
You know?
We're just
just people of all sorts are interested in the occult. You don't have to be a pirate.
That's true. We're just speculating on this, just don't
Yep.
worry. But
Plumbers.
dang. But I think one of my favorite examples of like pirates and everything like that is actually from Treasure Island. Long John Silver.
Treasure Island.
Probably one of the most famous pirate stories of all time.
Oh yeah.
And probably
absolutely.
And probably one of the best fictional pirates.
Mm-hmm.
In the form of Long John Silver.
Oh, for sure.
Have you ever read Treasure Island?
I read it years and years and years ago.
Okay, makes sense. Well, even if you haven't read Treasure Island, like there's a high chance you've probably seen some form of it in either television or movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because Treasure Island has been retold several different times. I mean, oh my god, I literally just remembered this off the top of my head. There was literally a Muppet version of Treasure Island where Long John Silver was played by Tim Curry.
Yeah. Muppet Treasure Island.
Just what I need more of in my life. More Muppets and more Tim Curry.
You know what? I just remembered?
Yeah.
Is there's also there's Treasure Planet. You seen Treasure Planet?
Yes, I have.
That's one of my favorite animated movies.
And honestly, that was actually really good. That was a good depiction of Long John Silver too.
Yeah, he was a cyborg.
That they had to adapt into that. Yeah, that was actually really good. I'm like, why are so many people sleeping on this film? It's fun.
Yeah, Oh, I love it.
But then you have your pirates from actual history.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, one of mine that I always like turning to is Francis Drake.
Francis?
Yes, Francis Drake. The original English privateer that basically in the 1500s he was the one that originally laid claim to the land of California.
The land of California.
which is kind of weird. So yeah,
California. I didn't see that coming. Actually, tell me about him. What did he do?
Drake was a captain who was in the employ of England, and specifically he was a privateer of like Spanish ships. So
okay.
So basically, well, not necessarily necessarily in the terms of pirates. Drake was considered kind of a pirate to the Spanish Armada and military, so much so that Drake was given the nickname by the Spanish in the term of El Draca, or the dragon.
Oh.
And let's see. Here it is. So King Philip II of Spain allegedly offered a reward for Drake's capture or death at around 20,000 ducats, which in today's currency would be about 8 million United States dollars.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah, Drake was like a huge thing for them. And but yeah, other than that, like aside from like the privateering and everything like that, Drake founded like I said before, Drake found stuff why am I spacing out so much? I had the stuff right in front of me.
I don't know, man.
So he was going through all of this sources of Panama. Trying to figure. Oh yeah, that's right. So, okay, here was Drake's most famous act. This is the one I was looking for. Drake is most famously known for his circumnavigation of the world in a single expedition ranging from 1577 to 1580, and was the first to complete the voyage as captain while leading the expedition throughout the entire circumnavigation. So basically, he was famous for circling the globe.
Wow. Okay.
He was basically part of like finding like some of the newer stuff in the New World. Like Drake has a hand in the discovery of most of that. So yeah, that was a big thing for that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, not all pirates were all about that. And Drake was actually knighted by the king.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So not all pirates are outlaws.
Well, I mean, they eventually can become, well, I mean, whoever's a hero or something to one country can probably be like a pirate or an enemy to another.
Yeah.
Cuz I mean, like in those times, it's not like all countries were really united in sharing information and everything like that, and there was like real threats to one another, especially in Europe. So, I mean, there is that to take into consideration, especially with like all of the expeditions into the new worlds and everything like that were happening within the time of like the going into like the 17th century and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, the more you know on that one, eh?
Oh man, yeah, it's very complicated.
And then you have and then sometime after the time of Drake, because Drake was in the 1500s, and we probably have the most famous example of a full-blown pirate, Edward Teach.
Oh, I actually know this one.
Who is he more famously known as, Hannah?
Blackbeard.
There we go. The captain of the Queen's Anne's War.
Queen Anne's Revenge?
Yeah, Queen Anne's Revenge. Queen Anne's Revenge. I was like, how did I forget the last one? What am I doing?
Are you drunk?
I'm high on caffeine.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he is probably the most famous example of pirates. Like, what had, like, if you want to talk about, like, a pirate taken from real life and put into so many different depictions of fiction, Blackbeard is probably the guy.
Yeah. Like, what did it take? Like, eventually, like, in his final battle, it took, like 5 gunshots and, like, 20 sword wounds to kill him.
I think so.
Right? He was just a monster.
Indeed. So yeah, let's see some of the stuff that he did. Okay, basically 40 guns. You're fearsome, slow machine. Okay, he formed an alliance of pirates and blockaded the port of Charlestown, South Carolina. At one point, ransoming the port's inhabitants. He then ran the Queen Anne's Revenge around on a sandbar near Beaufort, North Carolina. He parted company with and settled in Bath, North Carolina. He settled in North Carolina at one point, and then died in around November of 1718, and was killed by a small force. By a member of the British Royal Navy. So, yeah, I mean, like, this guy was notorious.
Yeah, there was a substantial reward for him too, right?
I want to see if I can actually find the reward for Blackbeard.
Yeah.
I actually can't find it right now, but yeah, like my God, this guy was, oh my goodness. You want to talk about the perfect examples of pirates? There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Like the perfect example of an old school pirate. Like, you go straight to Blackbeard. Excuse me, motorcycle in the background. How dare you? Sorry about that. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, I mean, okay. Hannah, are there any examples of Blackbeard that have always piqued your curiosity and interest anytime throughout anything that you've encountered?
Like one of his exploits or something?
Just something that you found in either on TV, movies, or something like that involved Blackbeard in some way, shape, or form that you were like, okay, this is interesting.
I've mostly heard about his last battle with against Maynard. Maynard was the name of the captain who
Dang.
I was looking at the background of this for a while, but yeah, like what was Maynard's first name? Right? Okay. Oh man. Maynard. Okay. So.
All right.
So there was a substantial reward for Blackbeard, and this Captain Maynard took command of 2 sloops. He had 57 men, and they let me see some of the they sailed. Minute. Okay, he found the pirates on the Queen Anne's Revenge anchored on the inner side of Ocracoke Island in November. And basically he blocked off the inlet so that no one could warn the pirates of his presence. They kind of had like a stealth mission. At daybreak, they entered the channel. They were, let's see. There was a battle. What is it? Let me see. There's a lot here. So I think they eventually boarded Blackbeard's ship, and wait a minute. Oh, hold on. They kept many of the men below deck in anticipation of being boarded by the pirates, and told them to prepare for close fighting. So Teach, or Blackbeard, ordered his men to be ready. The two vessels contacted one another, and Teach's men went aboard. They thought the ship was empty. They started firing at a small group that was in the stern, but then the rest of Maynard's men burst from the hold, shouting and firing, and they took him by surprise, and the pirates were basically surrounded, and Maynard and Teach, they like fired their flintlocks at each other and then drew their cutlasses. So kind of like a duel, but it was just in the middle of the battle. They both fired their guns and then cutlasses out, and they go out, and the pirates have been sort of pushed back, and let me see, Teach, or Blackbeard, was actually slashed across the neck by one of Maynard's men, and then he was attacked and killed, overwhelmed by a lot of Maynard's crew. And the let me see, when they examined his body, it had been shot 5 times and cut about 20. And his corpse was thrown into the inlet, and his head was, like, they cut off his head and suspended it from the bowsprit, so that the reward could be collected. So they brought his head back for the reward, which I have not found what kind of, like, how much he was worth, like how much his head was worth.
Interesting.
Yeah. That summary of the last battle there came from our good friend Wikipedia.
Indeed. But there were actually 2 more pirates that I just remembered. So remember,
go for it.
So remember
more about them.
So remember that part of the code where it said that no female shall be aboard the pirate ship and everything like that.
Yeah.
There's actually not one famous example, but 2 famous examples of good female pirates.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
Which ones?
Bonnie and Reed.
Those are the 2.
I love this story. Go ahead.
So both served under the Captain Calico Jack around the turn of the century of the 1700s. If I remember correctly, it was Bonnie that was Jack's lover, but I think Mary Reed was the one who was disguising herself as a man.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Bonnie had grown an affection for Reed, and she eventually found out that Reed was a woman and because Jack was, I think Calico Jack was starting to suspect jealousy and everything like that, they basically had to reveal that Reed was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So
they wouldn't be accused of
yeah, I know. Well,
interfering.
Who knows? Who knows what went on? There's still little recorded evidence of like their lives together, or if they were still friends, or they were romantically involved in some way, shape, or form. I don't know.
Who knows, man?
All I know is when they were captured, their executions were delayed because apparently either both of them were pregnant or feigned pregnancy. All I know is that Reed died during pregnancy, but there's actually no recorded record of Bonnie's death.
Oh yeah,
which is fascinating to me.
Yeah, Reed died in prison, basically.
Yeah, Reed basically died in prison. We don't know if Bonnie was released or not, or how long she lived.
Huh? Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, that's a little fun fact.
What about that? Let's see. Cheng Yi Sao. She was a Chinese pirate. She was a prostitute, and she married a powerful corsair. And then when he died, she took over his pirate fleet.
That's right. I forgot about that. That was I'm gonna, man. I keep forgetting about the pirates from the east, from places like Japan, China, and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
those are always like weird. Those are always weird ones to pass by. And oh my god, can motorcycles stop going by my house every single time?
Yeah. So yeah, she was clever. She kind of, when was this? Oh, 1807. She this is history.com. 1807.
Mm-hmm.
She elbowed her way into power and partnered with a trusted lieutenant and lover named Chang Pao. She penned a rigorous code of conduct for her pirates. Rape of female prisoners was punishable by beheading, and deserters had their ears lopped off.
Beautiful.
So she was public enemy number one of the Chinese government for a while.
Especially China in those times, like how they treated like with like just the entire thing with women. Oh god,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And so when she was finally sort of cornered, she was clever. She didn't battle with them. She agreed to surrender her fleet and stop pirating around in exchange for the right to keep her ill-gotten riches. So she retired as a successful pirate and ran a gambling house until her death in 1844 at the age of 69.
Damn.
Nice.
Damn. She played the game, dude.
Yeah.
Good on her.
She was clever.
Clever girl. But yeah, my god, like, and that was in the 1800s, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was past the golden age of piracy. Dang.
Yeah. 1807. She
for those
inherited the fleet.
For those wondering about what time period is the golden age of piracy, recorded it's somewhere within the mid 1600s to about 1730s, so about 80 to 100 years, or right around. Because that was the time of Anne Bonny and Mary Read and Edward Teach, Blackbeard, Calico Jack, all of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Piracy of all the rage.
Oh man, I am really curious about all this stuff now. I might do more research.
Yeah, pirates are always fun to look up, and like there are so many different, and it's kind of, pirates have kind of inspired so many different like stories on like movies, TV, like fiction, literature. Like,
yeah,
because we just said Long John Silver and Treasure Island.
Yeah.
Oh my god, one of the longest running Japanese anime today is a pirate anime.
Ooh.
One Piece.
Oh, okay.
It is so much. It's right around 30 seasons long, and it's still going.
Holy crap!
It's been running since the 90s.
Wow.
It's like an anime Hydra.
Oh my goodness.
For every episode you get, 2 more come to take its place.
Yeah. What is it about pirates that enchants us so much? What do you think?
I think it's because of the fact, well, it's almost kind of the same reason why, like, a lot of other different things, like, enchants people so much. Like, you go through the daily motions of life, whether you're young or you're old and everything like that, and somehow, like, people always just want to be like, I just want something out of the ordinary and to just be tossed into this. For some reason, there's, like, a fascination with pirates that is seen as, like, an escape, a freedom to, like, take away, like, this perceived mass self that you have to put on every single day and then just let loose. It's like it's like a freedom of expression almost. For some people. Well, like in terms of like a fictional pirate, it's just like you get to be free to be yourself. But in actuality, there's more to being a pirate than that, which we can't even fathom unless we were pirates ourselves. Because even though like I'm sure there's still some kind of code and everything like that, I'm pretty sure like the game of piracy has changed.
Yep.
I mean, like I said before, there are modern day pirates with all these like all modern technology and modern like arms and everything like that, carrying rifles, machine guns, all that.
Yeah, it's definitely romanticized.
Heavily romanticized.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, like there's always just like a safety thing in like people's minds when we fantasize about all that. Is like there's always like a safety switch where we can just romanticize about all of that and just think of it as like freedom and everything like that, when the reality is it's like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, we can look back on it and everything like that and be fascinated by all this stuff, but the reality that we got to come to terms is that like they did a lot of really bad crap.
Mm-hmm.
Like from plundering like ships from people who were just working and making a living to like raiding villages and everything like that. Even though they held a code, there was still a lot of bad.
Yep.
But that's also another thing to look at too, is just like to look at the comparison is like how it's changed from then to now.
Yeah. Are there any stories of pirates out there who had more of like a Robin Hood persona?
None that I came across. I mean, none that I could come across. I'm pretty sure maybe some probably exist, but it may not be on record. And maybe just lost to time.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'm speculating, because usually, like, as it said in like the pirate code that I read earlier on, like they usually keep all of the wealth like for themselves and everything like that to do how they see fit, and they split it up amongst the crew and all that.
Yeah.
So there is that to consider. So who knows?
It's a living.
For some reason, when you said that, for some reason I was thinking of like the movie Chicken Run with the one chicken who keeps knitting.
That's what I was quoting.
Yes, love that.
You mean you just want to sit here and eat and be killed one day? Is that all? Is that good enough for you? It's a living.
You sound way too much like her. You sound way too much like that. That was scary.
Life flashed before my eyes.
It was
really boring.
Yes. All right, we're getting off topic on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sidebar. Chicken sidebar.
Yes.
Oh man.
But yeah, for some reason, and like we said, pirates are romanticized in all forms of media, like especially for little kids.
Mm-hmm.
How much media and stuff exists for younger kids in terms of pirates? It's kind of astounding.
Yeah.
I think probably one of the most famous examples is probably Captain Hook from Disney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the romanticization begins young. Definitely.
It's me. So yeah, I honestly I think that was probably like one of my earliest introductions to pirates was actually Captain Hook from Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Like, no joke.
It's a good example, actually.
I would say so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. But, yeah. Was there anything about pirates that fascinated you more than anything?
I mean, I just really like all stories of stuff going on the sea, whether it's pirates or not. I love it. I love stories about the sea and people on the sea and like battles at sea. It's just great. It fascinates me. Like I'm a big fan of the early 2000s miniseries Horatio Hornblower.
Ah.
Those, I grew up watching those, and there's just something about a bunch of dudes on a ship that I just love it.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. I have no way to retort that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be pirates. I think it's got something to do with sort of the camaraderie of a crew, you know? And it's always kind of fascinated me, like, what makes a good captain and what makes a good leader, I suppose. What makes people, a whole bunch of people, want to follow this one dude into the jaws of death, basically.
Fair enough. Also, parlay.
Parlay.
Damn to the deaths whatever man thought up parlay.
That would be the French.
Yes. Thank you for doing that.
You're most welcome.
but yeah. Frickin' pirates, man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yo ho ho.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. The only thing I really need to figure out about pirates that I still haven't figured out yet. Did they really sing sea shanties?
Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure everybody did.
Because thinking about it, like back then, we unquestionably like, oh, pirates sung shanties on the sea, yo ho ho, and all that. But thinking about it today, I'm like, did they really?
I think they did. I think they sang raucous songs every night, except Sunday, because the musicians have Sunday off, as per the code.
I think that's probably going to be like one of the biggest takeaways on that apparently musicians had a one-day sabbatical on the sea.
Yep.
That's mind-blowing.
They were living the dream. Better work conditions than some musicians had, I'll reckon.
Possibly.
Yep.
but yeah, I think we can pretty much leave that there.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man.
If you're a musician, demand to have Sundays off. It's your given right according to the pirate code.
Do it. Do it. do it. So, I think that's pretty much going to be it. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the General Geekery Podcast where we were talking all about pirates.
Arr.
Yarr. If you liked what you listened to here, make sure to follow us on all the places where you can listen to the podcasts. We're on Spotify, we're on Stitcher, we're on Spreaker, we are on my personal YouTube channel at Anime Rev Productions. Yarr. I don't know why I started talking like this. It just felt appropriate. You can also follow the podcast on social media at General Geekery on Instagram and at Gen Geek Podcast on Facebook and Twitter. First mate Hannah, where can they find you at?
Hey, well, you can find me rolling dice with my party at twitch.tv/Loaded Dice Adventures every Monday from 7 to 7:30 to whenever we finish.
Yeah.
And you can also follow me on Instagram at Pythian Legume.
Nice. You have a nice Irishness to the pirate.
Oh, thank you.
And as for me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at RyuzakiMK7, and you can also catch me out at twitch.tv at RyuzakiMK7 as well. I stream most nights, well into the late nights, so
I
play a bunch of RPGs.
You can also follow Donald when he walks from his house to the 7-Eleven.
Yarr.
Yarr.
But yes, that will be all for today, mateys. This has been episode 34 of the General Geekery Podcast. For Hannah Kubiak, I'm Donald Kozinski, and until next time, yo ho, and a bottle of rum. But always remember to keep your geek on.
Always.
Cheers, mateys.
Yarr. Cheers.
Later, guys.
Bye. The weirdest damn thing.